Hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for another edition of Coveted Conversations with Community Social Justice. I am your host, DeShannon, and we have been away for about 30 days. We took a break in the month of July just so we can rest, relax, recharge. But now we back. Now, if we back, we gonna come with some fire. If I'm hosting, y'all know what it is. So go ahead, share this link, share it with somebody, let them know that community social justice is back on Facebook, YouTube. We are excited. So if this is your first time joining us, let me tell you who we are. We were birthed out of House of Hope Atlanta, but we quickly realized that the community is just not within the four walls. We are dedicated to partnering with you, our community, to give you information about education, financial literacy, health and wellness. How about racism, religion, things that is important to you, employment, what's going on in the world. We know you can get your sources from anywhere, anybody. But guess what we've done? We vetted everybody. We just didn't get people that agreed with us. We got people who was going to tell you the truth, whether you wanted to hear it or not. This is what makes us different. We want you to be informed, empowered, and we want to encourage you to seek out information other than what you might hear just on TV. Can you trust us? Yes, you can. But tonight, guys, all right, this is huge. I am getting ready to bring on a group of women that are making it happen. They're not just talking about it, they're actually making things happen. You know, it's one thing to have an idea, and it's one thing to have a dream and tell people what we should be doing, could be doing, would be doing. But it's another thing to put those actions into words. I am excited about the women that I have on tonight. Now, I know. We have some women on here and we empower women. And there's some guys out here doing it too. But tonight it's ladies' night. It's Friday night. It's ladies' night. We gonna show y'all what we doing and how we getting it done. See, sometimes women, we like to move in silence until it's ready. It's ready now. Now we getting ready to show y'all what we can do when great women get together. See, I know people say women, powerful women, alpha women can't run in packs. Well, the devil is a lie, because I'm about to introduce you to 5 alpha women, respected in their own right, doing their own thing for the betterment of the community. So share this now. Go ahead, because you don't want to miss this. Tag somebody. Let us know where you at so we can give you this information that you're going to share over and over again. Now, before I bring out my first guest, I've got a little promo video that I want to share with you, kind of set it up, let you know who you're getting ready to speak to. So share it now. Go ahead, sit back. You might want to take some notes too, guys, because they're going to be giving you a lot of information. We're going to try to put it in the chat. We're going to try to put it on the screen so that you'll know what's happening. Okay, again, I'm DeShannon. I'm your host. This is Community Social Justice, ATL. We are back. We have some exciting shows coming up for you, but I want you to sit back, relax, and watch this promo.
Time for us to start investing in our communities again, even during a pandemic. There are those that don't have high prospects for Black wealth in the coming years, but the Dollar Empower Community, or the DEC, will provide an opportunity for Georgia residents to change that trajectory. We can take the future into our own hands by investing in real estate to create and sustain generational Black wealth.
The DEC is managed and founded by Black women who are seeking to retain and build Black wealth in our community through real estate, acquisition, and appreciation. We have collectively 25 plus years in real estate, 10 plus years in law, 10 plus years in capital raising and investment, and 75 plus years in community engagement. We have what it takes to help Georgia residents build wealth through real estate, and you do not have to be an accredited or wealthy investor.
The deck is dedicated to serving our investors, all who must be Georgia residents, with superior returns through sound real estate opportunities in DeKalb County. It is our privilege to help our investors build wealth over time while providing transparency and phenomenal service.
So, how are we going to do this? The deck will acquire commercial property in DeKalb County that will allow our investors to gain wealth from residual monthly income and profit with depreciation from the sale. While other opportunities will welcome everyone, this particular opportunity is only available to Georgia residents.
Want to know more? Go to our website at www.dollarempowered.com to register for our live pitch to hear from our founders. So come join us, become a part of our team so you can increase your wealth and make this opportunity a part of your investment portfolio. So if you're a Georgia resident, see you there.
See what I tell you guys? We are in for a treat. So I'm just going to start bringing the ladies on. You guys got to meet these incredible women. But not only are they incredible women, they are women that are respected in their professions in their own right. We are really ready to share what we've learned, what we know, what we can do to empower the community. Are y'all ready? Let me bring on my first guest. Okay, this is my sis, guys. I love her. We best friends in my mind, whether she believe it or not. But we have been on so many shows together. She's hosted shows where I was getting on her in the background, and she's been on shows that I've hosted and been a guest. She is no stranger to community social justice. But now we only know her from one aspect of her career on here. We know her for being that activist. We know her for being the one who's on the front lines fighting for justice, voter rights, things like this. But now let's see another side of my dear friend, Teresa Hardy.
Hi, this is Shannon.
Hey, love.
Hey, everyone. It's good to be back. It's good to be back.
So, Teresa, for people who don't know you or only know you from a few letters that's normally hanging in the background, tell the people who you are.
Okay. Well, first of all, I'm Teresa Hardy. I'm a 21-year resident of DeKalb County. I am one that loved DeKalb County. I also love the people in DeKalb County and Georgia. I am the president of the NAACP DeKalb County, but I'm also a business owner. I have my own business called Hardy Graham and Associates, but I'm now with my girls, and we've come together to do something that hasn't been done in DeKalb or the state of Georgia, which is to empower our community. So we're now here to share some information on how you too can get involved in closing the gap for our Black communities.
Awesome. So now, Teresa, I know that I'm the host, but I want you to introduce your ladies, and then I'll take over as host. So who you want to bring on next?
Let's bring on Darshan. Hi, Darshan. Darshan is our founder. She's the one that brought it all together. So, Darshan, why don't you tell people who you are?
Well, thanks, Teresa, and thank you so much for having us. Very excited for this conversation. I'm Darshan Kendrick, and I am a lifelong resident of DeKalb County. So I've been here my entire life, 30-ish years. The only time I didn't live in DeKalb County is when I went to law school. So I'm a lawyer, got my law degree from UGA, an MBA from Kennesaw State. I also hold a Series 65, so I'm an investment advisor representative here in Georgia and a FINRA non-public arbitrator. So I do all things capital markets. I have a law firm here in DeKalb County, specifically focused on capital raising for minorities and women-owned founders. So this is right up my wheelhouse. And have served in the Georgia House of Representatives for 11 years now. So this is my community where I live, work, and play and serve. So very, very happy to be here.
Okay, didn't I tell y'all we wasn't half stepping? when sis ran down her credentials, I know everybody was like, okay. See, this is the kind of thing that I like. We're not just bringing you anybody off the street trying to tell you anything. You know, you can't ask a poor man how to get rich. So what we doing, we bringing people that know about it, that studied it. They have studied to show they self-approved. So then when they give you information, you know you can take that information to wherever they told you to go and that it will ring true. Who else you got, Teresa?
Yes, our next guest will be Edwina Clinton.
All right.
Come on, Edwina. You're on mute. You can take yourself off. Mute.
Sorry about that. I'm Edwina Clanton, and I'm a 20-year resident of DeKalb County, and I'm a part of many organizations such as the NAACP, the Business Alliance in my community. I'm a part of the chamber. I could just go on and on. I love community, and I think that's where we get a lot of our passion from. I enjoy people. So, you know, I just love getting out, meeting people. I'm retired from the state of Georgia, and it just goes to show you, you can go do other things once you retire. I became a realtor, and I moved into another arena with these young ladies that I'm real excited about. And just goes to show you, it's never too late to start investing. And I have enjoyed every step of the way being with these ladies.
All right.
Awesome. Look, okay, we're not even done, guys. We're not done yet. So who you got, Teresa?
Okay, I got my other sister. All right, come on in, Stacy Thibodeau. Hey, Stacy, take yourself off mute.
Good evening, everyone. I am Stacy Thibodeau, and I am a DeKalb County resident. I'm from Georgia originally, and I've been in DeKalb County for, gosh, over 30 years now. So this is like home to me. My corporate background, I've got over 20 years experience in human resources management. And the last 10, I worked in change management, through mergers and acquisitions. And, you know, I worked in the medical field and in the real estate publishing field. And after that last acquisition and merger, I decided employees just don't win. You know, as a department head over human resources, I saw it over and over again. And employees are just in a non-winning situation. So I decided I want to start my own business. And if you're going to start your own business, why not do it in your own community? And so I did that, and I got involved in real estate and got involved with my local association. I sit on the board of directors for the DeKalb Association of Realtors. I am the vice chair of my local chamber. I am also vice chair of the Business Alliance here in my local city. I've been appointed to by my county commissioner to an advisory board in DeKalb County. So I have just become a lover of my community. And this is where I love spending my time and my energy. I feel like there is much to give, and I get back more doing it here in my community than I ever did, you know, working in corporate. So at this point, you know, being a part of this organization, really, it just goes along with what I've been doing. I'm happy to be here. When, you know, Darshawn said we're going to do something for the community, I'm just all in. Because I realize that this is where my passion lies, and this is where I get something back just by giving to my community and seeing how things grow and flourish. So awesome. Thank you for having me.
Okay, you got one more, Teresa.
Okay, here go my other sister. My sister, she's my sidekick. Miss Amy McCoy.
Hey, I hope y'all can hear me fine. Connection's been a little tough here at the house, but I'm Amy McCoy, broker owner of My Hometown Realty Group. 17 years in the real estate business. Have served on multiple levels with local, state, and national levels with the National Association of Realtors, and currently second vice president to the Empire Board of Realtors. I've got a long laundry list of acronyms all behind my title, but the first and foremost is always going to be about community advocacy. And so I am so happy to be able to be a part of the Dollar Empower community with these beautiful ladies who all, we all believe in the same thing, and that's community and making sure that our community is reinvesting in themselves. And so I couldn't ask for a better bunch to be able to be a part of. Thank you.
Okay, so listen, we've got firepower tonight. These ladies are people, hey, I want to know, I'm looking at Teresa side-eyeing over here saying, now, Teresa, you know I just moved to Georgia. Now, why you ain't introduced me to this lady? But I'll get her after we get off. Yes. But listen, we are community social justice. If you're just joining us, let somebody know that we're talking about dollar empowerment community. And I'm going to get the ladies to tell us how they came up with that name and what they stand for. But if you didn't watch that promo video, it's on YouTube. Just type it in. That's what I did. The Dollar Empower Community, and it's the first thing that shows up. That is a good sign. That means that SEOs are working. But that's a great sign because we need to know how to be empowered. We hear about it. We hear about wealth building. We hear about asset management. You know, look, some of us ain't even got a 401k, but we're going to get into what that means to have your dollar empowered. How much money do you need? Do you need a lot? You know how we are. Our credit already bad because somebody done put the light bill in our name when we was about 5. How do we get out of that? How do we break generational curses? How will we stop being the first to own something? You know, how will we stop letting rent and be all right? You know, how do we stop this kind of mentality of just getting by? So I'm going to start asking the questions, but I want us to back up a little bit and say, how did we get so far behind? Now, I know a lot of folks want to talk about, well, you know, systemic racism doesn't exist and we can't teach this anymore. And it's been 400 plus years. Shouldn't y'all have pulled yourselves up by a bootstrap when we ain't even got shoes half the time? So I'm not here to debate that. What I want to do is start with saying, how did we get to where we are? But then I'm going to follow it up with, that's enough about talking about what happened. Now let's go forward. So I'm going to start with Miss Kendrick and say, Miss Kendrick, how in God's name have we not caught up in 400 years? Can you just talk to us a little bit about why we're behind in economic growth?
Yeah, I always describe it really in one word, if I could describe it, and that is access to information, access to people, access to things. I have been doing this capital raising space for the last 13 or 14 years. And a lot of times when I show up to rooms where money is being discussed, I'm the only Black woman in the room, period. And it's that lack of access to people, lack of access to information that really is holding us back, because you don't know what you don't know. And if you don't have access to the people that do know it or want to share it, you're just at a big disadvantage. So I've made it sort of my life's mission, personally and professionally, to make sure that people have access. As a matter of fact, my tagline for my law firm is providing everyone access to capital markets, because I think it's so important. Once you know better, you can do better. But you have to make room for access for people to have access to what they need to grow generational wealth.
Okay. See, she said a buzzword in there that I'm going to hold on to. That's generational wealth. I want to talk to Amy for a second. Okay, Amy, she said access. So what is preventing us from getting in the room to hear the things that we need to hear to make those changes? What do you think that is?
I think, some people, it's the fear. The fear of sometimes, our pride can get the best of us. Like, oh, I should probably know that already. And we don't want to come off thinking, oh, we're asking unintelligent questions or things of that sort. But you won't know what's accessible to you unless you ask. And that was the beautiful thing about when I got into real estate, was how much more I learned. The different vehicles of what real estate looks like. We chose for the dollar and power community to invest in commercial real estate because most people think real estate is all about residential, and it's only what kind of rent can I get off a tenant, and it be one single tenant based setup. But what we really wanted to focus on for generational wealth was go beyond residential. Let's look at commercial. We don't own a lot of commercial property in predominantly Black communities, Black or brown communities, because we weren't educated enough to know the potential behind commercial real estate. And so that's what we wanted to do. What's a dollar worth? And that's what we're wanting to find out. And we wanted to have where the community joined in that so that we can empower that dollar. So we're not having to go to the traditional financing banks who are going to charge outrageous interest rates or all these points. This was about collectively bringing our money together for the betterment of our community and creating that synergy to make more money for our community, essentially.
I got that. Okay, if you're just joining us now, we are talking to these powerful women who have formed this organization. And so, Teresa, tell me how this got started. What happened? What was the conversation like? Who called who?
Well, so actually, Darshan actually put it out on Facebook and asked all of us, asked whoever. It was actually open to anybody who wanted to join. And I forgot how many people actually joined the presentation. But after we got done with the presentation, it ended up being the 5 of us who really carried it through. And that's something to say about even our community. Now we're giving the information to you freely through a social media outlet where everybody on. But when it comes down to following it through, then some people back out. So we are the 5 queens that's gonna make it happen.
I love that. I love all of that because once the information is given, you can't make nobody do anything. The old folks say you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. But what we do, we're giving you some water tonight.
Yes.
We're giving you some water in hopes that you thirsty enough to don't look at what it's coming out of, but understanding that it can give you life. Oh, I about preached that, didn't I? Let me take that preacher hat off for a second, because I'm new to Georgia. I'm born and raised in Alabama. My whole career was in North Carolina. Children's Hospital moved me here about 18 months ago. So I understand what a lot of you guys are talking about, but I also get, Stacey, I'm talk to you for a minute. I also get, nobody told me about how to invest when it was time to invest. I was just picking stuff. I was like, well, I don't know if I need to be moderately aggressive or conservative. I just was picking stuff because I didn't have anybody to ask. Here I am, a CEO, a young CEO, Black female, but I didn't even have anybody that looked like me to ask, what do I need to choose? So you ladies have come together so that people that may not have the opportunity to ask somebody that looks like them the hard questions. But how, Stacey, do we start the conversation about building wealth? And I'm not even talking about generational wealth yet. Let's just talk about our own self for a second. Stacey, how do we even start the conversation?
Well, exactly what we're doing now. One of the things that the deck does, not only are we raising capital for this commercial property, but we have regular informational meetings with our investors, and other people are invited to join, where we talk about wealth and how to get started and just raising an awareness. So to your point, I think that just raising the awareness, and I'll say that again, raising the awareness, I think is really big, because we all know that we should be investing. We all know that we like to invest, but to your point, we don't know how. And that's definitely what we want to do. And as you said, the vehicle that we're using is a real estate syndicate, a commercial investment vehicle to help people who otherwise may not be able to invest in commercial real estate, to give them an opportunity to do so. We're educating people on that, giving them the opportunity so that we all can be exposed to it. I think that's a lot has to do with that. The other thing I would like to say is that I think that and I'll just speak for myself. I didn't know what I didn't know. There were a lot of things that are going on in our community that I just came to accept. I just came to accept that we have less, they have more. I just came to accept that, well, maybe we just won't have it. They always have had it. But it is raising the awareness. It is getting educated. It's being willing to go to the community to say, no, there's a reason that they might have it and we might not. The system was set up that way to begin with. We learn about that in real estate, even with residential. We learn about redlining. We learn about how the financial system was set up to prevent people of color from having access. So, just back to your point, I think that you just begin by raising awareness and helping people to understand that it's nothing to be embarrassed about, because things were set up for us not to know.
Okay, so we've hit a lot of heavy points, but we want to start showing some positives here, and so we're going to kind of change the narrative. So, Miss Clinton, and I can't call you by your first name because I recognize that when you're seasoned, there's just a certain level of respect that garners with that. So please don't take that offensively. I'm giving you the highest honor that I can. You said something in that promo clip that struck me. You said that you can start over and you can start a second career. And sometimes people think it's too late for me to learn something new. I'm going to let the younger generation go ahead. And so if you could just speak to someone that may have experienced as many things as you have, and let them know that this conversation is for them as well.
Yeah.
You may be muted there.
I could hit on so many points there. Sometimes I look at my age and I say, oh, it's too late for me to do something, or it's too late to do that. But I heard a story, and I always think God put things in your lives for you to learn from them. I heard a story from the man that owned KFC. He started that franchise when he was 60 years old. And look what an empire he left for his family. I mean, it's generational wealth. And if he can do it, guess what? We can too. I have learned so much, even moving from where I came from. I've raised in Georgia as well. But where I came from, people didn't have their own businesses. People of color, they didn't have their own business. I didn't know anyone rich, but who I thought was rich was the preachers. But when I moved to Atlanta, it was an eye-opening experience, and it was because I hadn't been exposed to it. Exposure is everything. And I'm telling you, I learned when I got my real estate license that where I was going to learn from is other seasoned real estate agents. And if I wanted to be like someone, I had to hang around them. So when Darshan put the word out, let's do this, I said, oh my God, he gives us everything we need. Here was the path that we could take to show other people, if we can do it, you can too. So I love being a part with these ladies. I've known most of them a long time, and certainly it's been a journey, and we're still learning and still raising money, and it's been a journey. It's been really fun. So all things are possible.
I
and
love that.
engage.
I mean, what we're saying here is it's never too early and it's never too late. You are right at the right moment to learn what you need to learn for the next step in your life. So,
Yes.
Teresa, we talked about it. We've said a couple of times generational wealth.
Mm-hmm.
We've hit on that a
Mm-hmm.
couple times now. What is that?
Well, first of all, let's go with wealth, right? So I like to define wealth, and this is where I think we've gotten it wrong. And we talk about being rich instead of being wealthy, right? And it's around having assets, and I think Darshan mentioned that too. And I have four pillars that I live by, and this is one of the reasons why I joined in the group. Is if it's insurance, real estate, being an entrepreneur, and investing. Those are your four pillars. That's what should be in your portfolio, so that you can actually build wealth. Now, if we're going to talk about generational wealth, those are the key things to have in order to move your family forward. If you're not doing any of that, you're going to be stuck where you are. I don't care how many, you can have $1 million in the bank and still not build generational wealth. And I think that's where we are literally showing people, but we're also bringing people along with us, which that has never happened. Usually you find out about any type of investing is after the fact. And we didn't have to be public with this. We could have been private, did our thing, but we as a group decided we wanted this to be a community effort and make it affordable and accessible for our community to get involved so that they can build the generational wealth alongside us. And that's what I just love about what we're about to do. And Oprah need to come and just tell us. No, just kidding.
Yeah, no, I love Teresa. I mean, she is one of my favorite people. I mean, because she's just who she is, and
Yeah.
I'm just who I am, and that's
Yeah,
what makes us get along just fine. But
exactly.
Darshan, it was your brainchild to put this out here. So tell me what was going on to even make you say, okay, it's time to do something. It's time for us to start moving. It's the middle of a pandemic. Folks ain't got money. I mean,
Exactly.
what was you thinking?
Yeah,
Um,
I know.
I mean, but
Your phone, your phone, right?
do we have money?
Mhm.
You know what I'm saying? We have money for what we want to have money for.
Yes,
Yes.
it's
And
priority.
when someone was talking about, I think Teresa was talking about rich and wealthy,
Mhm.
as Black people,
Mhm.
you can go to your parents' yearbook and
Mhm.
they had on suits and prom dresses on a Tuesday going to school. So that set us up to look good anyhow. So maybe we are doing something with our monies that we could do differently. So I want to talk to you about what brought us here, but I also want you to start out with telling us, give us step one. And then we're going to go around the circle. What's next? What's next? What's next? What's next? And then I want you guys to really, really talk to us about what you're doing and how we can be a part of it. So I want to hear about would you just wake up one night and say, today is the day I'm going to put this out on Facebook? And then let us know how to get started.
Yeah, so I again live, work, and play in DeKalb County and have been here for a while. And this was, during a time where it wasn't as much traffic, so I was just driving around, just thinking about, how I could be helpful since I had some downtime during the pandemic. And I started looking around at the commercial spaces in Lithonia and wondering like who owns that in my backyard, who's the owner of that. I wonder if they look like me. And I said, with the connections that I have and the passion that I have and the community in DeKalb County that I know it could be, there is no reason why I can't get a group of people and invest in our own community. No reason whatsoever. And really, the central word I would say in the Dollar Empowered community really is the community. We have an event coming up on September the 16th, to your point, specifically on why it's so important to invest in real estate. And you can go to our website. It's free to sign up. We have all these panelists that are coming because, to all of my beautiful co-founders' points, you have to continue to educate people, give people access to these people who have this wealth of knowledge. And all we can do is give them the information. We can't make them drink, as you say, but at least giving as many opportunities as we can to not only be about us and what we're doing, but also about how they can get involved literally in their backyard. So people can go to www.dollaремpowered.com and be able to sign up for that event that is going to be posted in the next week or so. It is not up there for sign up right now. We're finalizing the flyer, but September the 16th, we will have an event. So just check back with us sometime next week and you'll be able to sign up for the free event. We're going to have a good time talking about commercial real estate in our community. So hopefully we'll see some people there.
Awesome. Stacey, I'm going to start with you. Step one, what do we need to start doing? Or do we just need to wait till September and find out what y'all doing? Or y'all have said a lot of things. We've unpacked a lot of things. We know we should be doing better, but what's step one?
Step one to getting involved with the Dollar Empowered community?
Or just step one?
Question?
Yes.
Okay, so step one to getting involved with the Dollar Empowered community is to go to our website, dollaремpowered.com. And on our website, we've got the promo video that we saw at the top of this show. You can watch that and learn, the gist of what we're doing. But we also have our PPM that we would love for you to download, that private placement memorandum, and read on all the details about what we're doing. And from there, and once you've read that, we have other documents on there that we're going to ask you to download and complete to show your interest in the deck. And we sort of, walk you through the process from there to get you to the point where you will actually go ahead and submit your investment into the group.
Okay, so when you start talking about investments, people think, well, listen, I'm barely paying my rent. How much money are we talking about here? Now, I'm not trying to get into the presentation, but what I want to know, if I wanted to invest, whether it's with you or just with my company at work, I mean, is that something that I should be doing? How do I find out more about it? Amy, talk to me. I got a few dollars. I don't know what to do with them, but somebody said I should be. I keep getting spammed with this Bitcoin stuff. I don't know if it's that. Somebody told me I need to go on this flower thing and I'll get some money back. I know I can do something.
Yeah. So
with this little bit of money, but tell me, what can I do with the money I got? And I might not be, or might not think I'm ready or able to join.
And that's okay. And that was the whole purpose of us establishing this, right? It was us to be able to say, how can I, as a smaller man, be able to come in and be able to invest whatever I had? So when we started this initial raise, we started off with a $2,500 initial raise. Well, at one point, we had to eventually raise that because that was the whole point of, you get in early, you retain early, right? You get to get your shares in early. So now we've recently upped it to where you have to buy in a minimum of 50 shares. 500 shares, right, ladies? Yeah, something like that. $5,000 minimum. Sorry, I've got them drilling in the next room. So, but yeah, it's $5,000 minimum to be able to get in with your subscription agreement, sign your subscription agreement. And that's basically starting back, as Stacey said, reading the PPM on the website. So it gives you your step-by-step process. But what we always recommend is read it first. Read it because it outlines everything because we are registered. Like we are a real syndicate. There are certain regulatory things that we have to be able to meet in order for this to be a legitimate syndication. And so with that, we have certain legal things that we have to make sure are always disclosed. And so it's always imperative for any subscriber that chooses to be with the Dollar Empowered community. And we have had a lot of investors join in, even some that are accredited investors. And there's a difference levels in that as well. But we want, it's better to not always have to go at it by yourself. And that's why we said, we rather you come along with us, get that little bit of shares. You never know. You never know what it grows from there. And so that's why we wanted to start off small, $5,000 initial investment, and you can put in $50,000 if you want. So that's better. How many commercial buildings can you buy with $5,000, right?
Like zero. But
Like
collectively, we can do a lot of things. And that's what community is. It's not going at it alone. You know, we used to say it takes a village to raise a child. Now we don't want nobody whooping our child but us. Or now we can't even whoop them. So scratch that. But going back to community where everybody shared everything. So, Ms. Clanton, I want you to talk to us about community, what that actually means to you. And why was this important for you to get in at this stage of the game? Because it's got to mean something that will resonate with someone else. So tell us what does community mean to you?
So, like Stacy and everyone else has said, you don't know what you don't know. And I know many people that live in my community that have money that is sitting in the bank. They don't know what to do with it. And they want so badly to leave their great grandchildren something. And the only way they're going to do that is they put that money to work. And when I'm in the community, I share my life. I share what I'm doing. I let them know I'm investing in this. And they say, you can tell they're interested. Their eyes just pop open and they want to know more about it. So when you share with your community, when you're out, and not literally mean in my community, man, they get so excited about it. And you know that they just didn't know. And I just want to share too, since I am seasoned on here, when you ask God to help direct you, if you don't have the money to invest, he'll find a way to get it to you. If that's truly what's in your heart that you want to do, you just have to believe, and you can do it, because I'm believing right now that I'm going to leave a legacy for my family. And I believe that, and I'm going to do it because I trust God. And
I love it. I love it. I love it. Y'all see, she's saying seasoned because, even the word tells us to use a little bit of salt. So we're good with that. But what I want to know is some of the things, and Teresa, I think I'm going to ask you this, but then I want you to piggyback if there's some gaps out of this missing. We were taught to put money in the bank and maybe get 0.something%. Nobody's telling us about compound interest, paying how to pay debt down. And, nobody's really teaching us that. So involved with knowing what we thought, saving for a rainy day, put your money into the bank, not doing what the banks do to make money. But put your money in the bank, let it sit there, and get a couple pennies a month. That's what we were taught to do. Just like what we were taught to do is get whole life insurance or none instead of term. We've been told the wrong things from people that knocked on our parents and grandparents' doors. with a little notebook in their hand. We trusted them for years and years. So, Teresa, how do we now trust you?
Mm.
And so we want to know that, because what we're doing in many cases is what our parents done. And what they did is what their parents done. So now y'all talking about something that's unfamiliar. So tell me how to trust that. And then Darshan, I want you to talk to us about where our money should be going and why they kind of maybe told us some of the stuff that they told us. But Teresa, I want to talk about that trust factor. Y'all are women.
Yeah. So
doing the thing now. Y'all ran down y'all resumes like it was cool. Like, let me show y'all. Look at y'all can play if y'all want to. If I start putting these commas behind my name, all y'all gonna get shamed.
Yeah.
Y'all got it. But tell me now how to trust when I've known this thing that y'all are telling me is wrong for so many years.
So to piggyback off our matriarch, Miss Edwina, it is God that you have to trust in. You literally got to trust in God. And what you have to understand in your trusting in God is that He will never leave or forsake you. He intended for you to have this. He never intended for you to be poor in mentality, because I don't believe that people are poor. But the thing is, all the riches and glory, He didn't say you had to go and be dead before you get that. So it is today that we are here. And like I stated in the beginning, we did not have to come and make it public. So trust in this. You trusted in Nike. You trusted in Jordan. You've even trusted in Trump. But you didn't give us a chance. It's time to give some Black women who you know gonna get the job done a chance. And it's in your mentality that you need to have is own. Until you get that, you got to change your mentality. It is time out. Look, aren't we all sick and tired? Sick and tired. Okay? But I think we need to get in the mentality of owning. And once you do that, you won't be able to go do the penny thing like you said. It's okay to say till you can do better. But there's always another way to do it. When you start looking at what everybody else got, think about what you can get. And guess what? Everybody can be millionaires. And I'm going to let Darshan go ahead and tell us how we're going to be millionaires. Millionaires. We got the Millionaire Club going on.
Yes, well, y'all are definitely having church, but a lot of when we think about wealth, is sometimes we get into this old school mentality, like, sort of the more more humble we are, or the poorer we are, the closer we are to God. But the scriptures that I read say we have power to gain wealth. So I use that because sometimes even when I'm consulting with clients about where to invest their money or how to invest, there really still is that old time mentality of there's such a thing as too rich, or there's such a thing, some people feel guilty about it, about having that wealth. But we really, if you read several books, which I love to read, you will see that the stats for Black wealth are devastating. It is estimated that Black wealth on average is meant to be zero by the year 2050. We own less land now than we did before the Civil War. Let me say that again. We own less land now than before we were free. Like,
that don't make sense.
That doesn't make sense. And so, we really have to focus on not only saving, because saving is good, right? I always tell people, get your emergency fund up, pay off your debt and all that, but you're not going to leave generational wealth by saving. Very few people can save themselves into being a millionaire. It's very hard. Interest rates are are down. It doesn't even account for inflation. So you're actually losing money. You have to invest it somewhere where you know is good ground and it's going to grow, like what we're doing now. And back to the main point about how you can trust us. You can trust us because you can talk to any one of our investors and see how transparent we are. We have those quarterly meetings. If anybody emails us, we get back to them. But also go on our website and download and read about each one of us. You can tell how you want to trust people by what they've done and the information that they put out. And so we have committed as a team to being transparent and to doing it right. All of us have a degree or a license or certification that we are not trying to lose. And so we're doing it the right way.
I love that. I love that. And so, I like what, we were talking about faith-based things that you have to believe something. Now, I'm not up here trying to say you have to believe what we believe as far as our spiritual lives, but that has allowed us to grow in these areas. And I tell people all the time when we're talking about some people want to be humble and the poor you are and that kind of thing. If we can't keep saying we serve the King of Kings and Lord of Lords, because I ain't never seen a broke princess. Ever.
Yes.
Ever.
Ever.
I was just getting ready to say that, Teresa. Ever.
Okay. And so if that's true for us, because we're a faith-based community, but that's not all we do. But if we say that my Father has anything and no good thing will he withhold from us, that means he has indeed given us the ability to gain wealth. We need to stir up the gifts that's within us because all of us have been given a measure of something to do something with.
That's right.
Now, we can choose to do a lot of things with what he's given us. And I heard somebody, probably was turned off and after somebody said $5,000. I know some folks carrying $5,000 purses that don't own their home.
Yes.
I know some folks in Range Rovers in apartments. So that's a whole bunch of $5,000. I know some folks with about $5,000 sold into their head. So we have money for what we want to have money for. So as we getting ready to wrap up, we're talking about empowering our community. When we drive around, do we own this that we patronizing? Do we own the grocery store? Do we own the mall? The rent at the mall? Some people can't even maintain their business. But what if we own that? And where Greenbrier ain't got about 3 stores in it. What if we started owning some of this stuff that we see falling down and getting raggedy and build it up and open something? The Dollar Empowered community is allowing you an opportunity to learn how to get in and do that. But they can't make you. What we can do is educate you though. Yes. So you can't say we didn't share with you like somebody didn't share with us. So each of these ladies is getting ready to just talk to you. And you're going to share this because I know you are. Because one of your sister's friends, mama's, uncle's, cousin's brother needs to hear this. And so share this, tag somebody. But I'm going to start with Teresa. Then we're going to go just right around the corner all the way. We're going to end it with Amy. And y'all going to tell us why people need to go to that website, sign up for so that they can learn about empowering their own community. Go ahead, Teresa.
Okay. So yeah. So let's do. I'm loving this. Think about this. We are the biggest consumers. Okay. It is time for us to own some of this. We ain't even got to take it all, but it is time that we change our mindset And every time we think about going to South DeKalb Mall, like you stated it with Greenbrier, we had this conversation. That's why I've started laughing. It is time out that the owners not be in New York, California, Texas, Louisiana, especially in Georgia, Atlanta. This is the big Mecca. This is where Black people thrive. So why does Black people don't have the ownership to the land, to the commercial real estate, to the home ownership? Why we don't do that? It is time for us now, just like we coming out of the pandemic and we all have been transformed. I know I'm not the same as I was last year. So it's time for you to take that same step with us. And we're inviting you to be a part of the Dollar Empower community. We built this for you. So I just want to make sure that you have the opportunity to now go to www.dollaремpowered.com, read the material, and subscribe now. I think Darshan next.
Uh-huh.
Because I can go on.
Yeah, I don't know how I followed that from our chief financial officer. Thank you so much, Teresa. To piggyback off of that, one of the reasons, again, that I did this is to provide access that you otherwise would not have. Okay. One of the, sort of reasons that you see this generational wealth from people who do not look like us is because they have the mindset of, if one of us doesn't have it, we get together our resources and we help that person buy that gas station, or we help that person invest in that business. And so using the power of our community and our crowd really is going to give us what we need in order to take this to the next level. And listen, this is only the beginning. So you really want to get in early, because if you know these fire co-founders like I do, this is just the beginning of our empire. And so you want to be able to say that you knew us when we first started, and you want to be a part of something very, very special. We take each and every investor as family, because we know that they put their trust in us. So let us treat you like family, and go to dollaремpower.com, and let us help you grow generational wealth, but also provide you with some other needed means so that you can be your best version while you're here on earth. Thank you.
I guess I'm on next. I just want to share, like all of these ladies have said, if we can do it, you can do it as well. Nothing is impossible. And I can just tell you, whatever you want in life, be around those people who already have it. They will inspire you to get more. And being around Darshan and all these ladies, they all have beautiful gifts. And I hang around them because I want to have each part of them in me. And I'm telling you, you can have whatever you desire in life, and it's never too late. I teach our children when they come around us, invest. We have one of our biggest landowners in our city. All he talks about is when he was a little boy, he saw the other man have all these things. He figured out he could have them too. All you have to do is hang around and learn, see what they're doing, and you can do it too. So I encourage you to go to www. Dollar Empowered Community as well, and read the PPM and see how easy it is to join us and be a part of us. And I'm telling you, I know I have all of my life have always come into some money at some time or another and just threw it away on anything. Invest in you. It pays off tremendously. If I could share anything from my heart, invest and own. Thank you.
In 2020, Black Americans constituted 14% of the nation's population, but only have 3% of the wealth. That was numbers from 2020. Black Americans have 1.3 trillion with a T, $1.3 trillion of spending power. Why not use that to build generational wealth? The Dollar Empowered Community is a real estate syndicate that is, merely providing a tool for us to be able to use our spending power in our own community. It allows us to build our own community. When you drive around and you look at other communities, a lot of us admire a lot of things about a lot of other communities. We can have those things too. Those people in other communities, they use their spending power to build their communities. We can do it too. So what we have done here with the Dollar Empowered Community is just to provide a tool that we want to open up to the community so that we all can feel what that feels like. For everybody to be able to put in a small amount of money to be able to see what that feels like and what that looks like to be able to have wealth in our own communities, in our own families. Wealth helps us to send our children to school. Wealth helps us not only to be able to own homes, but it helps us to start businesses. And so that's really what we're doing. And I'm going to say it again, www.dollaремpowered.com is where you can go to learn more about this particular real estate syndicate, which is something, again, that is sort of new to most of us because it has recently been made available that anybody can use this tool. This is yet another thing that we didn't know about, but now we know. And when you know better, do better. Thank you.
And last but not least, your girl, Amy McCoy. So let me just say, he who holds the knowledge holds the power, right? So he who owns the land, possesses the land, also possesses the finances. And that's the thing. They don't make any more land, right? So the improvement that we're putting up on top of that parcel is what's going to drive in that money to be able to use as the investment to give you profitable returns. Now, with the experience that we have on this in this group, you have a community advocate, Teresa Hardy, and we're all community advocates, but she's been the president of an NAACP chapter for a very long time. Darshan holds her reputation as being a state representative, but most importantly, she's a securities exchange attorney, right? So you have 3 other realtors who have been in business well more than a decade. So I'm not going to go much further than that because we're really telling ages. So we are experts in our fields. That's why this has been such a dynamic group to be a part of. What we ask is that you just be a resident of Georgia and you can participate with the Dollar Empowered Community. It's all about building generational wealth that you can pass on. And like I said, this is only the beginning. And what we have had in most of our careers, real estate careers, is we have investors that have stuck with us. I know some have stuck with me 17 years ago that I still service today within my real estate career. And that's what we're looking for, to have those investors that want to stick with us. So should we choose to go beyond this current project, beyond this current capital raise, to understand that it takes time to build. This is not a get rich quick. That's not what this is about. If you're looking to invest, it's about holding the property, receiving rental income from the property, and receiving your portion of the shares. But then also look at how great this real estate market has been just in the last 2 years. So imagine if your $5,000 investment, okay, that $5,000 goes to that individual. So if you got a family trying to do one $5,000 investment, I'm sorry, it goes to one name, okay, one entity. So there are certain parameters within that PPM that we hope you will get educated with, but we have been truly transparent because we want you to take this journey with us. Okay. And so you've got the experts on this group, a part of this group. And like I said, God ain't going to hold us down. I mean, well, he holding us down because we're going to make this money, right? So, but come be a part of the Dollar Empowered community with us. We'd love to have you. DollarEmpowered.com. Thank you.
Okay, guys, we've packed a lot into tonight's show. We told you, talked a little bit about how we got there, but how we can do better. There is ways for us to do better. Somebody said access to information. They're not withholding the information. They're not territorial. They're not getting what they can get and going to the house. They're wanting to share with you how you can do it too. So please go to their website, read everything on it, download what you need to download, contact them for additional information because we want our community empowered. Who are we? We're Community Social Justice ATL. We are birthed out of a religious organization, but we understand that religious organization functions outside of those walls. If the pandemic has not taught us anything, that we've got to do something different than we've done it before. So I was your host tonight. These lovely ladies, thank you so very much. I can't wait to get to know each and every one of you better than I did tonight. But guys, share this video. Share it with someone who needs to hear this. Share this with someone who's thinking about it. I don't know how to do it. Don't know which way to go. Let them know that there is answers for you. Go to their website. Contact us at Community Social Justice ATL. We come to you on Fridays, 7 p.m. We've got some great shows coming up. We're going to get back into the school system, talk with some superintendents from our Metro Atlanta schools, let you know how the schools are thriving. We're going to be talking about this pandemic, talking about this vaccine. Should you not, pros, cons, but we ain't going to come from just any kind of point of view. We ain't going to talk about it just any kind of way. We're going to give you information that you can truly use. Again, my name is DeShannon Dixon. I have been your host tonight for Community Social Justice ATL. Please like and share. We're on YouTube as well with the same handle, and we'll see you Friday, 7 p.m. Good night, everyone.